for a state like Karnataka to be in the game going into national election.
That's the one big advantage.
There are some changes now in the regional breakup from the trends that we are picking up from Karnataka. So I want to show you what the regional analysis is basically throwing up. And this is interesting because what you will see is that some things are slightly different now from what was being spoken of earlier. In Bengaluru, the BJP is currently leading on 16, the Congress on 11. The Congress is down 4 from the last elections, the BJP up 5. So some solace for the BJP on what's otherwise not been a good day. The other thing which is interesting is that coastal Karnataka, 19 leads currently, much tighter than was being anticipated previously. The Congress leading on 8 seats in coastal Karnataka, the BJP leading on 11. The BJP is down 5, the Congress is up 5. But basically, Congress doing better in coastal Karnataka at this moment than was being thought earlier. In Hyderabad, Karnataka, also the more impoverished part of the state, the BJP at 15, the Congress at 18. In Hyderabad, Karnataka, the battle tighter than had been anticipated earlier. Hyderabad, Karnataka, the battle tighter. Let's now come to Mumbai, Karnataka, which used to be the bastion of the BJP. And this, to my mind, ladies and gentlemen, is the big story emerging from the Karnataka trend so far. The Congress leading in 31 seats in Mumbai, Karnataka. This is Lingayat territory. This is the BJP's heartland. This is where the BJP rose to prominence in Karnataka. That is where they are now down 12 seats, down 12 from the last elections. The Congress in Mumbai, Karnataka, up 14 from the last election. Why do you think that's happening, Sandeep Srivastava? This is Sandeep Shastri. This is the big story. The Congress leading by 31 to 18 in Mumbai, Karnataka.
Rahul, the reason could be, even though BJP has retained the Lingayat vote, there has been a consolidation of the non-Lingayat vote. We have been talking about the Rainbow Social Coalition.
Do you end up forgetting all your Microsoft Excel formulas even if you try to remember them multiple times? Does it happen that you have to perform a task in Excel but find it very difficult to remember which formula was supposed to be used for it? This happens when you don't clearly know the logic behind these formulas, and this, frankly speaking, is very harmful for your career in the long term. That's why in my 3-hour Advanced Excel Formulas Masterclass, I teach you 15 advanced Excel formulas, the logic behind it, and how to use it that will help you create your own formulas to generate complex reports very quickly, perform advanced data analysis, use conditional and text-based formulas, and much more. The best part about the masterclass is that you will get hands-on practice with real-life data sets and master Excel in just 3 hours. Hi, I'm Jatan Shah, a Microsoft certified trainer and a Microsoft certified Excel expert. My Advanced Excel Masterclass has already been attended by close to 82,000 people. And now it is your turn to master Excel with me. Click on the link below to join the masterclass right now, and when you do, you also get amazing Excel bonuses worth rupees 12,000 for absolutely free. I will see you inside the masterclass.
You got the best camera settings, but still your images look dull. In spite of trying everything, your end result of the image looks a little dull. Not much punch in the image, not much contrast, vibrance, or for that matter, saturation in your images. Every time your camera may not be able to represent reality. That is where my online photography course related to post-processing comes into picture. So as a part of my online photography course, I'm going to teach you right from scratch how to basically organize your photos, how to process your raw images to get the best out of your equipment, be it using Photoshop or for that matter using Lightroom. And make sure, irrespective of the end result, whether you're posting it for online social media or a website, or you want to give it for free. So in my course, I'm going to help you get the best out of your images. Hi, I'm Sudhir Shivaram, a wildlife photographer and a photography mentor, and my vision is to help photographers get access to my online photography courses at a very affordable price. I'm launching the all-in-one pack. Take everything, all the various courses, the current courses and also the future courses I'm going to release. Take it all at an unbelievable price and also access it for lifetime. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead right now, subscribe to my course and let me help you become a better photographer.
Which the BJP is leading on, where the margin is less than 1,000, then this election becomes more skewed towards the Congress. So that could change. Where is the contest even closer? Seats live at this moment, where the margin between the winner and the runner-up is less than 500. 28 such seats. The Congress leading on 13 of them, the BJP leading on 11. B.S. Yadurappa currently live images coming from his residence. That's B.S. Yadurappa watching the election trends and tracking what's happening. It's a bit solemn over there, with good reason. Their party is definitely not winning this election. This is a defeat for the Bharatiya Janata Party. How far away the Congress is from 113, that we'll know in about an hour or two. But the fact that the BJP is not doing well, Rajdeep, and this is the first election in decades that the BJP fought, except 2013, where Yadurappa wasn't the number one face.
And I'll tell you now that midnight call that I spoke to in the morning, where was the problem? The person told me where he was worried. He said our booth management in central Karnataka was not as up to the mark, the Congress person, and in Hyderabad, Karnataka, we got complacent. Now, if these numbers hold, there will be a lesson for the Congress. This is an election, you should be 125 up. Look, let's be clear, anti-incumbency, you should be 125 up. Last time, Sitaramayya, 2013, with a divided BJP got 121. Now you would expect the Congress to be at least 120. If they don't cross that, the Congress must ask itself, an election where you should be 125, why 116? It's not Mr. Modi's roadshow, Rahul, alone. The BJP still has better booth management and last mile connectivity than the Congress. And they got in a lot of voters post 3 p.m. That is tightening this race. I'm not saying the Congress won't cross 120, but at the moment, the Congress must ask itself, why are certain parts where you are expected to sweep? Why is this election becoming tighter? Mr. Upadhyay, you have every reason now to say, I told you so.
No, I'm not going to say that. See, in 44 seats, less than 1,000, it can go either way.
So for the first time,
if it happens 50-50, these numbers will stay, which means the Congress will remain around 115, 117.
Yeah, but that's not, at 115, 117 in a 19 incumbency,
It is not
now,
enough. It's not
the Congress, if I was a political strategist, I would ask the Congress, what were you doing with your last mile booth management in Hyderabad?
they did whatever they could. This is despite the Congress's best efforts. Remember, you're also up against the most formidable election machine of modern India. The Congress gave it all they had. This is despite their best efforts, not for lack of efforts. Now,
I would say 120, the Congress needs Rahul to breathe safely. Below 120, we know what operation comes like.
I want to show our viewers for the first time from the vote analytics in terms of vote share. Remember, this changes, so I'm a little wary of putting it out too early in the morning, but this is where things stand. Of the votes that have been counted so far, the Congress has increased its vote share from 38 to 42. That's 4% up from last time. The BJP is at 36, exactly where it was last time. The biggest change in the number so far is Janata Dal Secular, which had 18% of the vote last time. This time only 13% of the vote. That's 5% down. So the JDS is, as a macro, obviously on every seat it changes, but as a macro takeaway, a large part of the Janata Dal Secular's vote share seems to have gone to the Congress. The BJP, where it was, it's the JDS which is the biggest loser. So if it's a joker, it's definitely not a joker which has a material consequence. And remember, this is exactly what India Today's post-poll study had said would happen, which is about an 8% gap is what it suggested. This currently stands at 6%, but directionally calling the gap absolutely correct, Sandeep.
Very true, Rahul. The 6% gap now at this stage of the poll indicates very clearly the Congress being ahead. And my suspicion is as we go forward, that gap will go to what we had earlier.
Okay, so let's go across to Supriya Shrine. She's joined us on days where Congress didn't do well, now joining us on a day when the Congress is indeed doing really well. And Tom Badakat, who earlier would have been padding for the Congress, now batting for the BJP. Supriya, congratulations. You seem to be heading to a big and historic landmark victory.
No, I'm going to correct Rahul, my friend Rahul, that it may not be big anymore. You should be really worried. The numbers I'm getting from local channels show you now at 110 Supriya Shine. So for all the, you could be facing a tight fight. And somewhere, what I was told at midnight by a Congress strategist, we got complacent, our booth management failed us.
Why are you anxious, Rajiv? They are winning.
No, I'm giving you.
They are winning.
No, I don't know. It's
You
not a
want
big
the
victory.
Congress to win by a bigger number.
No, it's not 117 Rahul is not a big win. But over to you, Supriya Shine.
In 17th over, not 19th.
Yes, Supriya. You should be worried.
According to the media, no way
should be
She should be worried.
BJP are taken with a pinch of salt. It's all right. Thank you very much for the congratulations, Rahul. The numbers and the final tally will be much, much better than this. And I'm reasonably certain that we will form a full majority government, comfortable majority with everything intact. I also think, and the one thing that I'm really happy about this morning is that issues matter to the people. You want to polarize an election, you want to divide, you want to distract. Good luck with it. Look at how we are doing in Bengaluru, Karnataka, which is the coastal belt, which is where the BJP really tries to polarize. I think numbers are adding up, and I am very, very happy about the fact that it's the real issues that the people have cast their vote on. The people have not been swayed by distraction. It's an issue, it's an election which has been a collective win for the Congress. The fact that Mr. Kharge comes from Karnataka and he stationed himself there, the fact that Rahul Gandhi did the Bharat Jodo Yatra there, kept meeting people there, his strike rate is 67%. I was seeing on your sister channel versus 40% of Mr. Modi's. It's an election where we have had a collective win. And yes, credit will be given to each and every worker. I think we are heading for a comfortable majority. These are minor glitches in between where numbers will look narrow.
No, but ma'am, if you scramble over 113, the fact is, in a state with a record of anti-incumbency where the incumbent never gets more than 80 seats, you will also have to ask yourself, did the Congress also in the last step make a few mistakes? What was seen by many as a 125, 130 election is becoming 150 to 120 at best, if not lower.
No. You will wait and see us crossing that 120 mark for sure. Every seat which is a close contest will go in our favor, and that's our internal assessment as well. I don't think that there was any room for complacency. I don't think anybody was complacent. I think this election was fought with a narrative. That narrative found favor with the people. We gave 5 guarantees and we kept unmasking the BJP. What was the BJP's narrative? The BJP's narrative all through this election was, agar hum nahi aaye, to kya hoga? They never told the people that vote us back and this is what we will do, because they never had a report card to show. Their report card was full of 40% corruption and a FACM. So I don't think, let's not get swayed away, and I don't think any untoward incident like Rajdeep suggests is going to happen. We will form a full majority government, and give us credit for it. Give us credit for the fact that we did not allow the narrative to be distracted. We did not allow the narrative to be overpowered by any issue. And today happens to be Saturday, and people who really believe in Bajrangbali do know that आज हनुमान जी का दिवस है, तो आज तो बोलना चाहिए बजरंगबली ने तोड़ दी भ्रष्टाचार की नली.
अच्छा, चलो, Tom Vadakar, you're very silent. Are you still hopeful of a hung assembly? Are you still will your party bring up HD Kumaraswamy? One of Kumaraswamy's close aides just sent me a message. Rajdeep, Joker in the pack. Don't forget him.
Rajdeep, normally I don't agree with all what you say, but today you seem to have an air of caution. And I think that the caution is well placed, because the last mile transition could make all the difference. Because we have changed. Now we are at about 10, 12. And I think 1 hour from now, the pictures may change, and the ground reality that we have information from our Kalikatas are quite different. And I admire your caution, because I think some parties are going overboard saying that their agenda is all successful. But wait till the last minute, because the last mile is what matters. And I agree with you on that.
And remember what happened last time. I'll give you just a reality check. Sorry to be cautious this time, because something in these numbers is telling me be cautious, because last time I remember Nirmala Sitharaman, BJP crossed 100 and she started celebrating and said we are forming a government in Bengaluru. She's of course a Rajya Sabha MP from Karnataka, and you know what happened? They stopped 4 shot. What happened next? The Joker in the pack played his hand. I just got a message from the Joker in the pack, from his guy. He said, Rajdeep, I told you in the morning, don't rule us out.
Okay,
At 26,578, Rahul, look at the 109 is playing 115. 3-seat shift, 3 seats, and you're showing me in your margin calculator.
So let me
lots of
spend a
shift.
moment on that, which is where the election intelligence dashboard and the kind of live analytics that we're able to call out for you in real time make things so exciting. So on that margin calculator, I want to show you now how many seats could turn. At this moment, the Congress is leading on 115, the BJP on 78. At this moment, live, there are 32 seats where the gap between the winner and the runner-up is less than 500 votes. The Congress is leading on 15, the BJP on 12. If the Congress were to start losing on some of these seats, 15 is a pretty big number, 115 could potentially come down to 100 in a worst case scenario. 115 could come down to 100. The BJP, if it picks up all those seats, could then still be behind, but then there is a chance the joker in the pack does come into the fray. How many seats are there where the gap is less than 1,000 votes? There are 49 such seats. 23 of those leads with the Congress at this moment, 19 with the BJP. So beyond the big numbers, there is still a pitched battle that is going on. But remember, in the way that statistics play out, it's unlikely that all these 19 seats will go towards the Congress, all those 23 seats will go towards the BJP. They get distributed in some frequency, which is never really skewed in an abnormal way. So 116 to 78. Rajdeep, don't be so cautious.
Rahul, this has been a terrific IPL. And why has it been terrific? Because of the number of matches that have gone to the last over. Trust me, this is at least going to over number 18. Because the Congress, and it's unusual what's happened.
Are you not confident that the Congress MLAs will stay with the Congress?
No,
You think they could possibly
I'm
jump over and
actually,
stay?
no sir, what is happening? I tell you why I've become cautious. When you did that sub-regional, you gave it beautifully, because what suddenly happened to me clicked in my head. The Congress is doing well in region where it was not expected to do so well. And it is not doing so well in Hyderabad, Karnataka. The Congress needs that. If it has to cross 120, it needs Hyderabad, Karnataka to revive. It may happen. It may. My best case now for the Congress is 125. They will not cross 125. Their worst case, their nightmare is 110. And that 110 can create all. And look at what's happening. Jagdish Shettar is now trailing. A lot of big Congress candidates are also trailing. Jagdish Shettar in Hubli, I'm not surprised, is trailing at the moment. So Congress will have, as our flash is saying, will have to be alert when Operation Lotus. Think about it. If I'm at 113, I may well get sworn in on day one. But 3 months down the line, I'm not made a minister. 5 of us ditch the government and we can get re-elected and bring down this government with the joker in the pack. So you need 120 for the Congress. This is a scenario which is turning out to be a bit of a nightmare for Congress strategists.
The one interesting...
Although Dholaks were premature.
One interesting data set that's coming out of the election intelligence dashboard is that on the 69 seats of Karnataka, which are dominated by the Lingayat community, where the Lingayat community's population is more than 20%, the Congress is currently leading on 43. Now there's a big story there. In the Lingayat-dominated constituencies, which are supposed to be the BJP's surest bets, the Congress is leading on 43, up 21 from the last time. All those leads seem to be coming from the BJP, which is leading only on 20, down 21 from the last time. In the Vokaliga-dominated constituencies, largely in southern Karnataka, the Congress is leading on 23, up 8 from the last time. The BJP is at 13, which is exactly where they were last time. The JDS is at 13. The JDS is the big loser. 10 down from the last time in their bastion on the Vokaliga dominated seats. There are 51 such seats. I want to show you what's happening in the scheduled caste reserve seats, the Dalit seats of Karnataka. 37 such seats. The Congress leading on 19, the BJP on 13. Mallikarjun Kharge himself comes from the Dalit community. This is the one area where the Congress thought his personal standing could help. They're up 7 from the last time. Let's take a look at what's happening in the scheduled tribe-dominated seats. There are 15 such seats. The Congress leading on 11, which is what the exit poll had said would happen, that in the tribal and Dalit seats, Sandeep Shastri, the Congress doing well. And in the Lingayat-dominated seats, the BJP not doing well, in fact, doing abysmally poorly.
As you said, in the Lingayat-dominated seats where their presence is around 20%, the Congress is doing better. And that, I go back to my earlier point, maybe the social coalition which the Congress created helped it offset the fact that the Lingayat vote went to the BJP. Rahul, I'll be a little careful in talking about the reserved constituencies, because here the candidates are only scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and not the voters. The the exit poll and our polls look at the vote share of the Dalits and tribals, and the reserved constituencies are not truly a measure of the tribal vote or the scheduled caste vote. Would be
In the
last.
urban constituencies, the trend has now changed. The BJP is leading on 27 urban constituencies. There are 47 such constituencies. The Congress on 18. This would give the BJP some relief that at least in the urban bastions, they're doing well. In the semi-urban areas, you've got the BJP leading on 10, the Congress on 12. In rural areas, and there are 151 such seats. The Congress is leading on 85, the BJP on 42. Supriya Shrinet at 115. This election now, at this moment, more tightly poised than it seemed about an hour ago. So, and we've seen in Madhya Pradesh, when you won a near win, you know, some of your MLAs tend to leave you. That's happened elsewhere. It could happen here.
You will see more folks joining us. There was an absolute, trust in the BJP camp before the election. I think we are going to see a full majority. We are going to see comfortable numbers. We will see numbers upward of 125, and I have no doubt about that. Please remember all the closely contested seats that you're talking about. I mean, you mentioned that we've done well in SC seats, the SC seats, the Lingayat seats. Who is voting for the BJP? And I'm actually surprised to see their numbers quite frankly.
Supriya Shrinet, with due regard, ma'am, you're doing exactly what Nirmala Sitharaman did 5 years ago. This is exactly what she did. I'll tell you where you're losing. You're losing in central Karnataka, where I know that your local people told me terrible booth management. You got complacent. You're losing in Hyderabad, Karnataka in terms of the margin compared to last time, which is Mallikarjun Kharge's home base. I would appreciate, ma'am, if you looked at these numbers a little bit more seriously and started asking yourself question. A result of 125 is probably going to be now closer to 1110 to 115, where all options open up.
Rajdeep, can I please come in? Give us credit for our victory. Give us credit for the
I'm not going to give you credit. I'm not going to give you credit till you win. You are making the same mistake that Nirmala Sitharaman made 5 years ago. 114 is not a win yet. These are leads. You're only one above the majority. I would be more cautious if I was you, ma'am.
Let me talk once you're done. If you're done, can I speak?
Yeah, I'm telling you to be cautious. From 35 years of doing this, I know when to be cautious, ma'am.
But it almost seems like, no, 1 second, Rajdeep. I need to say this to your face, but it almost seems like you are talking not to the victor, but to the vanquished. I mean,
no, I'm talking to people who started. No, ma'am, I'm talking to someone who started with dholes at 8 a.m. You should wait for dholes till 12 noon.
We will wait for dholes, and those dholes will happen because we are going to win this election. Let me do some course correction for you here. I mean, you're almost speaking to me as if we are losing this election and not winning it. But that's all right. I take all of that media protocol with a pinch of salt. I think we are heading to a good majority. I think we will head to 125, comfortably above that. And I really think this is a testament to the fact that you need to run a campaign which talks about issues of people. And I cannot talk more on that because that's precisely what we did. Karnataka was always an election that the BJP wanted to polarize, but an election that we wanted to talk about issues. And ultimately, we are happy that people are talking about that.
Okay. Tom Badakan, you're very silent. You're still hoping for a miracle like 2018, the other way around this time.
Well, elections are over. I mean, it's nice to hear Supriya still chanting the mantras. It is now in the people's court, and the people are deciding very slowly and steadily. And as I said, the last mile will make the difference, because I think the push that will come from our workers and our 30, we have an expectation that is going to show colors.
Okay.
And we will
What is clear is you are not ending up number one. Let's be clear. Congress will be the single largest. It's now a question: does it scrape above the majority or does it fall short? And that holds all kinds of implications, Ashok.
Rajdeep, we've discussed yesterday and today that if this was a national election, the BJP would win.
Yes.
If there was a statewide mandate, the Congress would be much more comfortable. The beauty of this election is becoming a regional election. Different regions are voting slightly differently.
That's right.
Which is making it much more complex.
That's right. And I've been saying this round for a long time. Karnataka today is like my state of Maharashtra, one of my home states. You go to Marathwada, different election to Vidarbha, to North Maharashtra, to Western Maharashtra, to Mumbai, Konkan. Why are we throwing up hung assemblies there? Karnataka has thrown in the last 4 elections 3 hung assemblies.
Can I
So
make a point here?
so therefore, if these numbers hold, this is the trend. Karnataka is not a wave election. So to that extent,
Rajdeep, I think DK Shivakumar sensed this last night, and he has made arrangements for all MLAs to be brought to Bangalore and, if necessary, taken to Hyderabad. This was the yesterday's
A
report.
legislative party meet has been called tomorrow at 12 noon by the Congress.
Yeah. So they're cautious. They know that things can go wrong if they do not come to 120.
So
One simple point coming out at this point of time is that never underestimate the power of the common man. And the common man for me, between the three parties, looks to be the JDS. If you really look at imagery and much else. So never underestimate that. The second point I want to just quickly say is, parties are trying to get a two-party polarized election in Karnataka. That is not happening. At what point do you say that the JDS is irrelevant, is the question.
but I'll give you an interesting example of the JDS. JDS is leading in 5 seats, 5 in Hyderabad, Karnataka. Who are these 5? 4 of them are people who didn't get tickets from the Congress or the BJP.
Yes,
the power of individual candidates.
Yeah.
Karnataka is a classic example. Local candidates have their own weight. And that's where I would be very cautious to predict a
They
Karnataka
got
election.
22 former MLAs joining at the last minute. 22 from across the two parties.
Yeah, that's right. So and many of them are winning. So the JDS, Rahul, 27 is not coming all from Old Mysuru. 8 of their seats are coming from outside Old Mysuru.
So the biggest question at this moment in the minds of anybody watching is what can change from here? Let's stay focused squarely on that. At this second, there are 53 seats where the margin between the winner and the runner-up, the leading candidate and the runner-up, is less than 1,000. The Congress is leading on 22, the BJP on 23. Live images of Siddaramaiah, the former chief minister. Let's see what he has to say, if anything at all. 115. It's exciting, but the direction is quite clear. The Congress hovering between 113 and 115. They would have liked this to be a bigger victory. That doesn't seem to have happened. Siddaramaiah not saying very much. He obviously wants to wait to see what happens. But clearly the Congress needs a comfortable win to be safe. Otherwise, their MLAs in the recent past have had a tendency of ditching them, as was the case in Madhya Pradesh, where Jyotiraditya Scindia and 22 odd MLAs went and crossed over and joined the BJP. Things in such a scenario could change. For this government truly to last, remember, after Devraj Uz, Siddaramaiah was the only chief minister to have completed a full 5-year term in Karnataka. The other chief ministers have only completed part of their term.
Rahul, the 4 local channels that I'm tracking are giving between 108 to 114 for the Congress. So they are in 3 of them, they are short of the majority. Only in 1 are they crossing at 114. At 114, you are only 1 above the majority. That's why I said, do not put the dholaks out so early. I said it in the morning. We are saying it now. It is dangerous politics. I don't know who authorized the Congress to do that. Never predict. I am invincible. I am this. Please don't give me these videos. I am invincible at 9 in the morning. To be fair to Mr. Modi, he comes across when they win at 7 p.m.
Because he's more mature.
No, yes,
He's
you're
not
right.
juvenile, right?
No, I'm not getting into maturity. All I'm saying, this is election day. We've seen what can happen in the last 5
This is
overs.
a question of maturity. You haven't won a full mandate. You're already
Whoever's on the social media.
113. You're now squarely
I
on
keep
the
saying,
majority mark. Anaga joins us. She's at the KPCC headquarters, the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee headquarters in Bengaluru. Joining us from there, Anaga. I see some gulal out. They're already celebrating. Thoda wait colors will be a good thing, but no, they're going for it. Anaga, tell us what's happening there.
Rahul, I am at the KPCC quarters over here, and the Congress party workers have already broken into a dance. So I have this gentleman over here who just gave us a step right now. He was in fact dancing non-stop, given the fact that Congress was taking a lead. Sir, आप बोलिए sir, अभी आप कुछ देर पहले डांस कर रहे थे.
हम लोग बहुत खुश है. देखिए, ये बीजेपी सरकार ने जो 5 साल में जो करप्शन किया है और जी महंगाई बढ़ाई है और सरकारी संपत्ति सब बिक दिया, रेल बिक दिया, एयरपोर्ट बिक दिया, जितना भी इंडस्ट्री वो भी बिक रहा है ना. तो ये कर्नाटक वासी ने सोचा है कि ये बीजेपी अगर रहेगा तो हमारा पूरा इंडिया को बिक देगा. इसीलिए पूरा कर्नाटक वासी मिलकर फिर से कांग्रेस का सरकार लाया और राहुल गांधी जी नेतृत्व में जो भारत जोड़ो यात्रा हुआ, ये यात्रा का पहला हमारा सक्सेस हो गया. हम लोग 2026 में जो केंद्रीय सेंट्रल में सरकार इलेक्शन होगा, उसके बाद
Anaga, can you tell them that they are only at 114? Anaga, there are now surveys which are showing predicting a hung assembly. Where is this celebration coming from? Have they celebrated too early?
सर ये सेलिब्रेशन थोड़ा अर्ली नहीं है, अभी बहुत सारा एग्जिट पोल्स ये दिख रहा है।
हम लोग जीत गए, देखिए ना एग्जिट पोल दिखे ना 115 कांग्रेस है ना, हम लोग
मेजोरिटी
हम लोग जीत रहे हैं। क्यों टेंशन ले रहे हैं आप? हमारा कांग्रेस का सीएम भी बन रहे हैं।
अच्छा आप हमारे लिए एक स्टेप
हाँ श्योर 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 दीदी लगा एक बार आइए दीदी हाँ 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 थोड़ा ताली बजा भैया, थोड़ा ताली बजा दीजिए। हाँ हम बहुत खुश है, हम बहुत खुश हैं।
They're dancing. It's a bit premature, but which is fine.
बहुत दिन बाद ही हमारा कांग्रेस का सरकार बन। हाँ हाँ नहीं हमारा सरकार बन गया। देखिए ना कितना अभी देखिए 114 कांग्रेस का आ गया, जीत गया और 115 हो जाएगा। हमारा पूरा बहुमत से हमारा सरकार बन जाएगा।
This is the mood on the ground. The Congress.
Rahul, this is big. They are at 113 and JDS is at 30. So once that's below, one more seat below, and there is every indication that they are going below. The joker in the pack is in the game. I'm sorry to sound excited about Mr. Kumaraswamy. I know it will lead to sort of charges of unethical politics being played resort. But this number at 113, 114, I think you are heading. It could go either way now. 4 seats go the other way.
Rajdeep, I wouldn't be excited if Kumaraswamy is in the play.
No, I'm not.
My state doesn't require another Khichdi government.
That's no. I'm only saying no. That's another matter. 2 weeks ago, in a video blog, I said never rule out the joker in the pack. We've been ruling him out since the morning. He's now in play at 30 and above. He's very much in play. Anything above 30.
In the morning, he said, "No, I'm not looking at these figures." Okay, you are given some figures.
He went to Singapore. He claims that he is still in the game at 30. H.D. Kumaraswamy comes into the game. The Congress now is in trouble. Let's start saying
now. I think it's still a very close.
So let's spend a moment on that. What could change from here? At this moment, there are 8 seats where the gap between the winner and the runner-up is less than 100 votes. That could change any second. Like as each round gets counted, that could change. The Congress winning 3, the BJP leading on 2. At this second, there are 33 seats where the gap is less than 500 votes. These again could change. The Congress leading on 16, the BJP on 5. So in a worst case scenario, if quite a few of those 16 go away, this can come down towards 100. In a positive scenario, if some of those JDS leads and BJP leads switch and come towards the Congress, this 113 could then go up, say by about 8 or 10. So this could possibly go up to 123 also if things go well from the Congress's perspective from here on, but it's definitely not seeming to go towards 140. On the basis of where things stand at this moment, 140 seems ruled out. It is more towards, say, 120, 122 if they get some of these leads. At this second, there are 59 seats where the gap is less than 1,000 votes. The BJP leading on 22 of those, the Congress leading on 25. So it's still a very, very tight fight.
Rahul, and we are heading for Madhya Pradesh 2018.
That went on till 12
it will go on. Be ready for a long day. Rahul, Kawal, be ready for it. Look at that number you've just shown us. 59 seats are less than 1,000. Congress leading in 25, BJP in 22.
This margin calculator became famous in Madhya Pradesh in 2018, where we had all the top leaders because they couldn't access this data in real time, saying, "Fatafat dekh ke batao ki
So
kya
I'll tell you what the best case is. The best case is a third of these go to the Congress, which are at the moment with the BJP and the JDS, and they go to 125. That's their best case. The worst case for them is that they lose a third of that and they go between 100 and 105. So the Congress now is facing a serious, look, this election is not over. We need to now say this loud and clear. This election is not over. The Congress could well be below the halfway mark. Karnataka could be heading for a hung assembly, or the Congress creeps over the halfway mark and reaches 120, which is their best case scenario. But rule out a sweep.
Rajdeep, in that case, BJP will also be in the play. If Congress is, say, 100 and 105, and BJP is also around that,
No, BJP is not around that, sir. Please, let's be very clear. The BJP is not crossing 90. That's their best case. They'll probably be 80.
Even with 90, 95,
They're probably 80, sir.
they will play with Kumaraswamy.
The only person today who's laughing at this moment is Kumaraswamy.
Humble farmers in the
The humble farmer, brother. I told you I'm joker in the pack, brother. The brother is on the
No,
move.
so we can actually do that live in real time rather than just basing this on opinion. We can base it on data. What's the best case and the worst case scenario from the Congress's perspective? The best case scenario, and I'll pick as a barometer seats where the margin is less than 1,000. The best case scenario is that the Congress could get out of these 33 seats, which are currently with the opposition, 34 seats which are currently with the opposition, let's assume the Congress gets 2/3. They could possibly go up beyond 120. So that still is in the realm of possibility. The worst case scenario is that as you got these seats where the margin is very, very fine, say less than 500, there are 18 such seats where the Congress is currently leading with less than 500. If those 18 were to switch the other way, then the Congress could potentially end up somewhere close to 100. So this election is in the contest. This is far from done. All those guys, Manoj Arora and gang who came with the dole, nagadas, the dancing, well, boss, that was, I told you much earlier, that was way too premature.
How can you come with doles at 7 in the morning and 8? Are you mad?
But it tells you a lot about the Congress party.
Absolutely. You swung from Himachal Pradesh where you didn't celebrate to started celebrating at 8:30 and 9 in the morning. I don't know if Supriya Srinath is still with us.
She is.
I mean, Supriya Srinath, you need to give us some kind of reality check. You've been a journalist. Give a reality check to your fellow Congress person who starts celebrating at 8:30. For God's sake, I'm sorry to say this.
I first want to do a slight reality check with both of you. I take huge offense to words like maturity or not. To say that Mr. Modi is mature and Mr. Gandhi is not, I take huge
No, I didn't use that word. I didn't use that word.
But let me please finish. No, 1 second.
I used the word
Rahul
premature.
did, and I'm talking to him right now. Please let me finish. Rahul did, and I'm speaking to him right now. I also think, this whole euphoria about the Congress not being. We are well past the halfway mark. Let's do a reality check here.
Not really well past, madam.
Past the halfway mark.
113 is the halfway mark.
Is well past the halfway mark.
114 is where you stand.
Come on, wake up.
This is not well past the halfway mark.
Ma'am, you got to wake up and smell the coffee. Good South Indian coffee.
114 is well past the halfway mark, Rahul.
No, ma'am. I'm sorry.
You've been a business journalist. You study data and analytics. How is one seat more than majority well past the halfway mark? It's barely past the halfway mark.
Wake up, ma'am.
So, no, you wake up. You wake up and listen to me now. Because for the last 40 minutes, it almost seems like we've lost an election which we are winning.
You haven't.
I'm sorry to say, 114 is yes, well past the halfway mark. Because the halfway mark is 113. Anything above that is an election that we have won. What exactly are you mourning here?
But Mr. Nate, Mr. Nate, nobody's trying to corner you here.
Preeti has a word. Ma'am, let Preeti get a word in, please.
Mr. Nate, nobody's trying to corner you here. Right now, yes, you've reached the halfway mark. It's at 114. What we were talking about is at 8 o'clock in the morning to have the dhol nagadas, at the Congress office, a little premature. And, when Himachal, you had nothing, and at 8 a.m. you had those, you have to at least admit to that.
Preeti, there are workers and workers get excited and it's all right. This is an election which we will eventually win. I'm not going to hang up people upside down because they were singing Nagaras, because they will have a reason to an hour from now. But in the India Today newsroom, and I'm sorry to say this with all the due respect that I have for all of you, in the India Today newsroom, what exactly are we mourning? I haven't been able to understand.
No one's mourning anything. Listen,
No one's mourning, ma'am. No one's mourning. Don't get us wrong.
Rajdeep, let's just be fair. The fact that this is a big victory for the Congress, in the sense that if you look at what's happened since 2014, and if you see what you're up against, for the Congress to have 110 odd seats, the BJP at 75, the JDS at 30, it's a big day for the Congress.
No, it's not. Rahul Kanwal, I'm sorry, I disagree. I'll tell you one minute. If the Congress gets anything over 114, it's a win for the Congress. If the Congress goes below the halfway mark, the Congress better smell the coffee, because the fact is this is a state with 40 years of anti-incumbency. You had the benefit of anti-incumbency.
But the Congress you're talking about.
No,
that's not good enough.
In the opposition.
No, look, every political.
You're making it seem as if the Congress is the BJP in terms of converting anti-incumbency into victory.
My point is simple. You know what's going to happen when they're 110? I kept saying they will have to go to Mr. Kumaraswamy and probably he will say, make me chief minister. Are you ready to do that, Supriya?
Why do they need to do that? There are 115, others are at 5. Why do you need to do that?
But Rajdeep, you've got to give
No,
Congress
see,
credit.
Come on,
The
this
Congress
is
has fought
very
a good
difficult to
election.
fathom.
The
Rajdeep,
BJP has fought it
you must
better
give
than what
credit
we
to the
expected.
Congress where it is due. You can't take credit away from the Congress.
You can't take credit away from the Congress.
It's not fair.
Hey, I'm also getting attacked, man.
No, no,
by
don't.
everybody.
No,
But
don't.
listen, Supriya Shinen, are you open to a deal with H.D. Kumaraswamy? Straight question.
That's the unfair question at this
Are
point.
you
We will
open to a
form the
deal?
government on our own with a full majority. We will need no one. Mark my words.
But I'll tell you,
Okay.
for your comfort, DK
And ma'am, why don't you smile? You're being very angry with me. We are old friends. Smile a bit.
Stop warning because for the last 40 minutes, Rajdeep, it almost seems like we are losing an election.
No, I am giving you a note of caution. Ma'am, I am giving you a note of caution. I am trying
I
to...
take offense to the fact that between Rahul and you, twice in the show, you've had an issue with the Rahul Gandhi creative and calling him mature.
No, I haven't done that, but I am just trying to...
No, one second. Since you keep, once again, Supriya Shinde, since you keep saying this, in that video, let's pull it out and play it again. There is no Siddaramaiah, there is no Shiv Kumar. The only guy you see is Rahul Gandhi. It makes it seem as if, and I know you are in charge of the social media cell of the Congress, which is why you seem to be taking it personally. But when you made that video, your team should have put Shiv Kumar or Siddaramaiah. Why are they not there in the video? Why is Rahul Gandhi the only guy taking credit for this? How is he invincible and unstoppable?
If you have done the jam, listen to me. At least have the courtesy to listen
Yes,
to my reply. I take nothing that comes from you people seriously at all. That's point number one, because I take everything that comes from media with a pinch of salt. I don't know if you have noticed this, but for the last 40 days, we have put out a video every morning from Karnataka, which is essentially the Bharat Jodo Yatra videos. You have cherry picked today and you are commenting on it. Now I can see for the last 40 days, you've had a video every morning of the Bharat Jodo Yatra from
But look at the text. I am invincible. I am unstoppable. One second. This is not done in vacuum. This is done in the context of the Karnataka election. Surely our viewers are smart enough. The text that accompanies the video says its own story. I am unstoppable. I am invincible. And you've got fire symbols over there. It's very clear where this video is coming from. That's not the point. Listen, the point is the Congress is the #1 party in Karnataka. That you can't take away from the Congress.
No credit should ever be given to Rahul Gandhi.
But where are the others in the video? Where is Siddaramaiah? Where are Shiv Kumar?
I don't expect any better.
No, but where are Siddaramaiah? Where is Shiv Kumar? Where are Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar, the guys who actually won you this contest? No, one second. This is the only guy who's invincible and unstoppable, Rahul Gandhi, but that's not the point. Let's not get derailed. The key thing is what can change from here. And I think I want to come back again and again to the margin calculator. 11 seats at this time where the gap is less than 100 votes. Congress leading on 5, the BJP on 3, the JDS on 3. At this moment, from the seats where the gap is less than 500, the Congress leading on 20, the BJP on 9, the JDS on 9, others on 1. The Congress will hope that some of these 19 seats which are currently with other parties come towards them and that 117 actually goes up towards 130. That could happen, but it doesn't always happen that those votes start transferring in your favor in one direction. That doesn't happen. So it will be distributed in some ratio.
Can I just come to ask you something?
Yes, please.
Can you give me, I don't know whether you can give me this. Can you tell me where these, which parts of Karnataka are these less than 1,000? That will give us a better sense
So here,
as to where the contest is.
Can we get the camera closer so you can see? The seats with less than 1,000 are highlighted in the power map on the right.
Okay.
And they're evenly distributed. So there are some pockets here in southern Karnataka, Old Mysuru. There are some pockets in central Karnataka. Quite a few in the
Hyderabad.
Lingayat belt of Kittur, Karnataka, and quite a few in Hyderabad, Karnataka as well.
Okay, so therefore what you have, look, what was this election supposed to be? Our exit poll showed Hyderabad, Karnataka is where the Congress would take a big lead. Let's see the numbers for Hyderabad,
Okay,
Karnataka
so-
at the moment, because I think that will give us a sense region-wise. We go to region and Hyderabad, Karnataka, and you'll get a sense why this election is getting tighter. Look, 23-11. So the Congress is holding on to Hyderabad, Karnataka. So that's good news for the Congress.
Let's
turn out to Bengaluru. Bengaluru, exactly the flip of what happened in 2018 is happening. The BJP has taken the lead.
But the counter to that is that the BJP did have 16 sitting MLAs because
Sure.
they poached from the Congress.
But it's
and
up
the
5.
JDS.
It's up 5.
From 2018.
Agreed. Okay, let's turn to coastal. You see, here the BJP now is consolidating. It's going back to it. So this is
largely
now
in line of our poll.
largely in line of our poll.
Basically,
I want to see where the poll is changing. That's why. Hyderabad, Karnataka not changing. Congress is in the lead.
Mumbai,
Karnataka.
Oh, wow.
You see, Mumbai, Karnataka, this Congress lead, which is,
This is their big story.
Yeah, this is the big story so far, but this is why the Congress should be worried, because this is where the seats get tight. North Karnataka seats are traditionally tight. That's why the Congress should
And
be a
let's
little
come to
worried.
old Mysuru now. In these 64 seats, the JDS is leading on 20, down 6. The Congress is leading on 38, up 18. Their biggest gains are coming from here.
So let me give Supriya Shrineth, who was very angry with me, some good news. When I now look at these numbers, I can say safely that the Congress is not going to fall, in my view, below a certain minimum threshold.
आप change करते रहते हो. 5 मिनट दूसरा बोल रहे थे.
1 minute.
Just now you were saying they'll come to 100. I was saying don't panic.
No, 1 minute. A minimum threshold of between 105 to 110, it will not go below that. 105 to 100. Please listen to my words carefully. Its best case scenario is now 120 to 125. It has to start picking up some of the extra seats in Hyderabad, Karnataka, and reverse Bengaluru, and ensure that Mysuru remains where it is.
If you're wondering,
so it's not. My only point to Supriya Shrineth, who's,
she's saying let her celebrate. She has every reason to. They fought a pitched campaign, they fought a tough campaign, and they're up against a very mighty army.
Boss, all I'm saying is, as we saw Bihar 2015 and Karnataka with the BJP in 2018, celebrate when you won.
That's true.
Don't celebrate at 8 a.m. It sends out even within your cadres. I don't know why Supriya Shrineth is getting so, is attacking me for saying what is so obvious. Celebrate when you win. You don't distribute laddus at 8:30 in a close contest based on an exit poll. Exit polls are not the final poll. That's all I was saying. She got angry with me. Supriya, smile now. I want you to smile.
She's not
I don't want to see you angry.
She has only a half smile. Okay, now
You
she's
run
smiling.
a terrific social media campaign.
She's smiling or not smiling?
I don't
So
think
she
you
is
needed.
smiling.
I don't think
Just
you
a little
needed that
bit. Come on,
invincible. You didn't need that invincible
वो
video.
थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया.
You could have celebrated at 1
You should
o'clock.
put some intercuts of Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar then. That would have been nice.
That's all I'm saying, Supriya. Now, are you okay? You're not smiling. She's not smiling.
No, let me.
Come on, smile.
No, let me first. Okay, but if once both of you are done, I shall speak. Because
I want you to smile. I'm not waiting till you smile.
Let us speak.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm behaving like a Karnataka male politician. Please go ahead. Sorry, ma'am.
You've been told by your fellow panelists to let me speak, so that speaks a lot about how much you let me talk.
Okay.
I think, firstly, I want to clarify, it is very, very certain that we are going to form a full majority government, and that is what matters, quite frankly. So I don't know why you're going threadbare into this number and that number in this region and that region. Yes, all of that counts. But the fact that we will well past the halfway majority mark and form a government is the headline of the day. You can keep doing the analysis for all I care. And for all I care, Rahul, please go back and see the last 40 videos of Bharat Jodo Yatra. Please see the number of creatives and videos that we put out with all our leaders, because this is a collective victory. If you have an issue with us giving credit to Rahul Gandhi, where it is due, we will. I am not going to be bogged down. Should we have celebrated a little? Yes, maybe we have. Maybe we could have. But our cadres are excited and I let them celebrate on a day that they deserve to. I think I answered all your 3 questions with a big smile on that.
You see, it's a bit like the RCB. You see, every year the IPL RCB has never won it.
They start out well. Lots of flashy strokes, lots of Mysore Park, and then they don't.
So when I was on Church Street this time, everyone said with the RCB jerseys, we are winning. I said, but the IPL final is on 20th of May. No, we are going to enter the final. Now they are struggling. So all I'm saying is, always celebrate. And Supriya, please get me Mysore Park. You have to give me Mysore Park in the evening when you cross
She's
the
giving you Motichur Laddu. Harish Bijur has got you Mysore Park.
Harish has got
but once again, since this issue is raised about Rahul Gandhi
She's
and
dying
his
to smile.
No, but just one second. Can I show you what's happening in the 51 seats where Rahul Gandhi did campaign? Out of where the Bharat Jodo Yatra passed through, the Congress has a pretty solid strike rate of 71. They're leading on 36 of those.
Bajrangbali Puja, Rahul, right there. And
15 of those are currently being lost with a lost strike rate of 29%.
That's pretty impressive. Let's give credit. Now we've got to give Rahul Gandhi. Now, Mr. Rahul Kaval, you've got to give your namesake some credit. Rahul Gandhi's 71% strike rate in Bharat Jodo Yatra areas. Supriya Shrineth should smile, and Rahul Kaval you should accept.
Which is why I brought it out, because that's a fact. What's a fact is a fact, can't be denied, right? This is where Rahul Gandhi campaigned. These are 22 rallies.
Pretty impressive.
And there they have a strike rate of 73%, leading on 16 of those.
Come on, Supriya, smile. 73% strike rate, Rahul Gandhi.
I have something to add.
One second. I want to come to where Priyanka Gandhi campaign. So Priyanka Gandhi's seats. Now, it's actually, I'm very concerned about this data set, because it sometimes throws up misleading perceptions because that Neta's roadshow could pass through there. Just because you campaign there doesn't mean that you have to influence that particular seat, because oftentimes people who are participating in your Sabha come from nearby seats. But it's still, there is some vanity at stake over
No, there's impressive. Rahul Gandhi's numbers are very impressive. Rahul Gandhi, very impressive.
Yeah, and the BJP doesn't have a good strike rate. Obviously, if the whole strike rate is down, the Prime Minister's strike rate is 50-50 in Karnataka, 21 leads at this moment, 50% strike rate, and the Home Minister's strike rate at this moment live is 33%. So he went to 30 such seats, 33 they're winning in 67.
That's terrible. Amit Shah is only at 33%.
But
terrible.
So now let's go across and show you the retain ratio. Of the 104 seats the BJP had last time, they are currently retaining only 44%. And I want to put this question to Syed Zafar Islam, who joins us. 56% of the seats that you had won the last time, on those seats you are losing, which means 6 out of 10 seats which you won last time, you're now trailing on, just showing the level of anti-incumbency, Syed Zafar Islam, against your MLAs.
Local anti-incumbency, yes.
Well, Rahul and Rajdeep, good morning. First of all, let me tell you that there are 90 seats where the lead is not more than 2,000. So I will still prefer to wait and make any comment on the seats where we are trailing. Secondly, it is the rarest of the rarest moment for Congress party or other party to smile. I think my friend, good friend Supriya, I will let her smile today, at least for momentarily, because it will be momentarily. Maybe an hour or 2 hours down the line, the dynamics will change, and this happiness will not last for longer than 2 hours, because we feel that out of these 90 seats where we are trailing by 2,000 votes or 1,500 votes or 100 votes, will definitely make up for it, because especially in Lingayat area, which is prominently resided by Lingayat community, where we are showing that still we are far behind. But we are currently behind, but we feel that we will definitely be making inroads there, and we will have better numbers than currently which is being shown. So we are confident. We'll wait till 12:31, and then we will be able to comment whether we need to really introspect on those questions
about being behind
which you have raised,
on one of your mass voter base where Lingayats are concerned.
Anticipating. No, that's what I said. Even your survey suggested that 62% Lingayat will vote for Bharatiya Janata Party, but the current number is suggesting that it is much lower than the survey suggested. So
Mr. Islam, while you're speaking right now at the Congress headquarters, a small Bajrang Bali puja is taking place. So when that last vote is counted, sir, it's a good question to ask spokespersons of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Who will Bajrang Bali bless?
Say, it is for them to decide. It is their faith, which I won't comment on anyone's faith, because it's something which is very personal. But if they do insult people's sentiment, then our party will definitely raise such issues for the sake of the people who have been insulted in their manifesto, and especially in those areas where we had raised Bajrang Bali issue. I think a lot of support is coming from those areas as well.
Sir, you're receding in coastal Karnataka. You still haven't been able to, one of the, I'm sure, areas where you thought the Bajrang Bali would only consolidate your Hindu vote bank. All right, so the Chief Minister's visuals from Karnataka speaking to the press. Listen.
Yeah, let's listen to Mr.
ಫಲಿತಾಂಶ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ರಾಜ್ಯದ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ, ಜನರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಮುಂದಿನ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕವನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸಮೃದ್ಧ, ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತ ನಾಡನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕನ್ನುವಂಥ ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಜನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ನನಗಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾದಂಥ ಬಹುಮತ ಬರುವಂಥ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಕೂಡ ನನಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವೇ
back to that reaction coming in, didn't look very happy, the Chief Minister of Karnataka. But let's cut across Congress headquarters in celebratory mode, even though right now they're still at 115 in terms of leads.
Ravi, BJP has lost. Given that they were 104, now at 71, the quantum of Congress victory is still to be determined. How far past the 113 mark they end up. But the fact that the BJP had anti-incumbency, and I want to show you some very interesting data. This is to do with the direct fights. These are seats where the Congress and the BJP are locked in a 1-2 contest, right? So 1-2 Congress BJP. There are 150 such seats. The Congress is leading on 85 of those 150. That's a 57% strike rate in a direct 1-2 fight with the BJP. The BJP has a 43% strike rate when they're up against the Congress in a direct 1-2 fight. How does the BJP fare versus the JDS when the BJP and the JDS are 1-2? Where the BJP and the JDS are 1-2, the JDS is leading on 60% such seats, the BJP only on 40. Where the Congress and the JDS are facing off with each other, there the Congress has the lead 60-40. So the BJP hasn't been able to dislodge Sandeep Shastri. The JDS getting it past the BJP, and the Congress for once in a head-on-head with the BJP seeming to get the better of the BJP.
In the old Mysore region especially, I think JDS is not doing as badly as a lot of people projected it would. It has done much worse than last time, but then not as bad as was projected by some of the exit polls.
So I want to show to our viewers for the first time this new data set that I'm calling. This is called the heat map. What this will show you is the number of seats where the party's vote share is either between 0 and 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 13, 14, 40 and above. So of the BJP leads, the BJP's vote share is less than 10% in 25 seats, 10 to 20% in 20 seats, 20 to 30% in 22 seats, 30 to 40% in 51 seats, and 40% plus in 105 seats. So 40%, 105 seats, the BJP is seriously and fully in the contest. 51 seats. And remember, this is the kind of analytics which ordinarily would take many days for number crunchers to be able to put together. Thanks to the election intelligence dashboard powered by the data intelligence unit at the India Today Group, we're being able to pull this out for you live in real time. From the Congress's perspective, there are 139 seats where the Congress's vote share is more than 40%. So these are seats where they hope that they can still do well. So 139 seats where the Congress is 40% plus. 48 seats at this second where their vote share is between 30 and 40. 19 seats where their vote share is 20 to 30. 8 seats where their vote share is 10 to 20, and 0 to 10 is 8. So that just shows those are the seats where the Congress is obviously very, very weak. From the Janata Dal Seculars perspective, there are 27 seats where the JDS's vote share at this second is 40% plus, 24 seats where the JDS's vote share is 30 to 40, 16 seats where the JDS's vote share is 20 to 30, 15 seats where the vote share is 10 to 20. Isn't this phenomenal? Sandeep Shastri, the kind of, no, but just as a moment, the kind of analytics we're able to run in real time. You know, this just changes the whole dimension of election coverage.
Compliments to the entire team.
Thank you. We worked very hard. But sir, कितनी मेहनत की इस पे बताओ?
According to me, and Rahul, you're going to, we can see what you're going to even find more fascinating is that margin calculator. Because I'm telling you today, between 2 and 4, in many constituencies, even half the rounds are not over yet. I'm sorry to sound all the time cautious and skeptical, because when half the rounds are not over, one party is 114.
Somebody hasn't sent those guys the memo.
Yeah, I mean, these guys need to be sent your analytics. They need to be sent this margin calculator.
One point in this JDS heat map, if you look at the number of seats they're leading, which is 30, and the number of seats they have 40% plus vote is 27, which means in the JDS leads, it is more a lead because of the division of votes between the Congress and the BJP.
Through Ashok Malik, the kind of insights you're able to call out in lifetime.
This is absolutely fascinating, and frankly, reports of the JDS's contraction and therefore perhaps exaggerated by all of us.
The humble farmers still around.
No, when you get 40% and more, how many of that converts into seats? Is there a but that's a gray area.
Yeah, sorry, Harish.
In the same line, on the same line, I'd use your cricketing language, bleed blue. If you really look at it, the Congress needs to be complimented for the fact that it's bleeding blue. And that's 114
But they won
seats.
slowly at the
They're
cost of
still
the
ahead.
BJP.
They're still ahead. But the point is, at this point of time, how deep are we into the counting? That is going to be very important. And the last point I'd like to make is this analytics, which is brilliant, says that 40% plus the Congress is leading in 139. I mean, getting that kind of a pressure, which means if I'm to simplistically convert, 139 becomes 139. I know it isn't that simplistic. 27 becomes 27, which is less than 31.
Supriya Shrinet has to leave us, but before she leaves us, I'm going to still try one last time to get that smile out of her. Because Supriya Shrinet, look, let me be fair to you.
Do you like her analytics, Supriya?
Yeah, she loves the analytics. She's been in business
She
channels.
says, you didn't like my video, I don't like the analytics.
No, but Supriya, the fact is the Congress hasn't won a single big state since Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. You look like being well ahead of the BJP. That's very clear. Is that reason enough for you to feel confident going into 2024? Do you believe this is a platform that you have going into that? Or would you accept that Karnataka should be treated as a very distinct state, ma'am, and every state is very different to the other?
So before I go, I'm glad to see the morning come down in the Indian Wave studios. Happy to see that. We will form the government with a full majority and we'll be comfortably placed to deliver on promises that we have promised to the people of Karnataka. I also want to say something which is not being talked about as much. Yes, Rahul Gandhi's strike rate is 71%, but Mr. Modi's strike rate is under 50%. He's the Prime Minister. The entire campaign was all about him. So this is as much Mr. Modi's loss as this is Karnataka BJP's loss. The 40% campaign or the pay CM, all of those issues set aside. This is as much Mr. Modi's loss as it is the Karnataka
But Supriya,
BJP.
are you happy because JDS seems to have held on to its vote? You're largely winning at the cost of the BJP. That must give you a fair amount of joy.
And that's exactly what I'm coming to. That I think all these efforts to divert the attention, all these efforts to divide, the kind of campaign that Mr. Modi was doing, he couldn't find a narrative. It was all about me, I, myself, and the fact that he was bringing in Rajiv Gandhi into the campaign, terror issues.
But Supriya, campaign, no, I want to come in. Those two rallies at the fag.
Holiday planning. ಯಾವುದೇ ಬಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಮೂವಿ ತರ ಕಾಣಲ್ವಾ? ಅಣ್ಣ ತಮ್ಮನ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಜಗಳ ನೋಡಿ, ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಹಾಯಕ ಅಮ್ಮ,
ಬಜೆಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ?
ಒಬ್ಬ ಕಂಜೂಸ್ ಸೇಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡಲು ಹೀರೋನ ಸಿಟಿ ಸಮೇತ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ. 16 ಕೋಟಿ ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ಸ್, 29 ಲಕ್ಷ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಹೋಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಸ್, ರೋಚಕ ಬೆಲೆ. ಈ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಖಂಡಿತ ಹಿಟ್. ಆಗೋಣ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ.
Be cautious because look at the sub-regional split.
Okay, so we can do that.
I haven't seen splits like this in a long time, where from one region to the other, the election is so widely varied. It's hyper-localized. It's not localized, it's hyper-localized.
Elections going on.
That's right. 5 different elections going on in Karnataka. Absolutely right.
There's no statewide uniformity.
Absolutely.
We can try and explain why that's the case. Here's a sense of the overall vote share. In comparison with the last elections, the Congress's vote share stands at 43%. That's 5% up from the 38 they had last time. BJP is exactly where it was. The Congress's gains are coming at the expense of the Janata Dal Secular, which is down from 18 to 13. 5% loss, virtually directly getting transferred to the Congress. And if I show you the region-wise breakup, you will now see why this is a region-by-region election. In the 28 seats of Bengaluru, the BJP is leading on 16, the Congress on 11. The BJP leads in Bengaluru. The BJP also in the lead in coastal Karnataka, where there are 19 seats. The BJP leading on 14, the Congress leading on 4. Remember, in the regions, 2 out of the 6, you've got the BJP leading on. When I come to Hyderabad, Karnataka, in Hyderabad, Karnataka, the Congress is 24 leads, the BJP 10, the JDS 4. In central Karnataka, there are 23 seats here in central Karnataka, the Congress leading on 12 and the BJP on 9. In Old Mysuru, which is where the Congress's biggest wins are coming from, this is the area where the JDS did well in the last election and in elections in the past, because the BJP's vote share has gone up. Remember what's happening here. The BJP's vote share has gone up in Old Mysuru, which is why the Congress is winning more seats. The Congress is gaining at the expense of the Janata Dal Secular. Here, the Congress has 37 leads, 17 up from the last elections. The JDS at 26.
Rahul, your mic's this thing, but here is your mic needs to be looked at. I was just told by the producer, but here is the big news. So after having given Supriya Shrineth a hard time, just as she's left, guess what? As per the local channels, Congress now pulling away because they are now in some of the assessments at 1-1, and 1-1. Preeti knows why I'm getting excited once it crosses 120 because there's a sweepstakes on offer, and typically I want someone else to buy my birthday cake and not me. But the truth of the matter is, this is what we've been all saying in the past, and we asked this to Dr. Qureshi, this bump factor, that the leader tends to get a disproportionate share. Sandeep Shastri will have to answer this one day in all his analysis of the last mile close fights. But for the first time in a long since an hour, the Congress may be in a slightly more comfortable position at 120. We are showing 116, but there is some hope for them that they could win some of these close contests. I still say many rounds to go. I would be very cautious before celebrating, but what is very clear is the Congress will have, and look who's, every time JDS Rahul goes below 30, that's when the Congress starts going up. So the JDS, if it goes over 30, Congress in trouble. If the JDS falls below 30, I would say Congress set to form a government.
I would say Congress majority very likely.
Very likely, yeah, but I'm not going to call this election, Ashok. It would be too premature to call this election.
Rajdeep, two small points.
Yes.
I think this 117 or 120, 121, whatever, is depending heavily on two regions, Old Mysore and Kittur, Karnataka. If in these two regions the Congress is able to maintain the lead it is having now, I think these numbers will hold and maybe go a little beyond that.
So are we looking at the moment, and it's very, it's virtually real time, at the moment, a Congress between 120 and 130
No, we
possibly.
can gamify that.
Okay, let's gamify.
120 to
Please gamify it, Rahul.
130 unlikely.
130 unlikely, 120 possible.
20, 22, 23, that's where.
Okay, make it 1, 2, 3, guys. Make it 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Make it 1, 2, 3. I got a lot of money riding on 1, 2, 3.
We have a 1, 2, 3 party.
Rajdeep, for the amount of panditry you did 15-20 minutes ago about where this was going, now some verbal gymnastics will be required.
No, I'll tell you why, Rahul. No, I think our viewers. I think our viewers need to realize that in an election like this, where you're seeing these sub-regional variations, one should be very cautious. Cautious is the way forward. Because I said this just 2 minutes ago. This is real-time TV. This is like an IPL match going on. Fascinating.
So what you're basically saying is,
10 minutes ago it was a
but there's another way to just position what Rajdeep is saying. Treat it like an IPL match, right? The commentator's commenting on what he's seeing at that moment.
Yes.
For the post-match analysis, wait for the post-election analysis.
That's right.
At this moment, things change.
What is coming on your screen is being predicted by him 1 minute before that. You see?
Okay, so I just want to show you what could change from here. There are 500 seats, and this is interesting. This is where you're seeing the winner's bandwagon effect to the extent that you're seeing it live in action. 500 seats, 500 votes and less, 23 such seats. The Congress is leading on 15. So there are 15 seats which the Congress is leading on in that 120, where the margin at this moment is very slender. That could, in a worst case scenario, come down to 105. It doesn't happen like that, but just hypothetically. And the BJP is leading on 3, the JDS on 1. So where can this go to? This could possibly go up by 8. So 120 could become 128 if everything goes in the Congress's favor.
Right.
That also doesn't happen. But 120 can potentially go up to 128. Let's look at the seats where the margin is less than 1,000. There are 48 such seats. These seats again are in the play at this moment. Here too, things could change. Here too, the Congress leading with a bigger margin than the BJP. 25 such leads for the BJP. 25 such leads for the Congress, 14 such leads for the BJP. These seats too, Rajdeep, could change. So if you're pulling some of these 23 seats away, the Congress could then possibly still look at 125, 130 if some of these tight seats start shifting.
You see, the India Today Axis My India poll was what? 122 to 140. If it is 125, I think that's a fantastic poll to call, especially in a tough state like Karnataka.
Even this is fantastic.
This is pretty impressive as well. You see, I think we've got to recognize that Karnataka is five state elections in one. Coastal Karnataka increasingly clear advantage BJP. Hyderabad Karnataka increasingly clear advantage Congress. Central Karnataka tight fight with slight edge to Congress. Old Mysuru sweep to the Congress and Bengaluru advantage to the BJP. But closing in, if as most people believe Bengaluru will turn towards the Congress, then I think 120 could become 125 and Supriya Srinath will deserve from me a contrite apology and she can smile and tell me I told you so. If it remains 115 to 120 and 5 seats go the other way, then Operation Lotus will take place, unfortunately,
but if we go by
5 months from now.
But if we go by our EI numbers, if it's 43% vote share with the Congress, if it holds on to it, then Mr. Shastri, you're looking at a seat share of anywhere over 122?
My own sense is, given the trend, it's between 122 and 125.
Because 43% is what it is right now. If it holds on to this, then it's anywhere over 120.
BJP about 70.
Congress.
Ramcha, what is happening is this 43-36 difference is there.
Yes.
What is happening is Congress is winning its seats with big margins, and therefore that vote share gets.
I can show that to you.
BJP is winning with smaller margins.
If I show you the heat map analysis, the BJP at this moment has 106 seats where their vote share is above 106. 49 seats where their vote share is 30 to 40. So 106 seats are the number of seats where the BJP is very seriously in the fray. They're leading on 70, but if you're 40% plus in 106 seats, those are seats where the BJP, as the rounds of voting go on, still would think they have a chance. The Congress at this moment is leading, has 40% plus votes in 140. So for the best case scenario for the Congress, 140, because these are seats where your vote share is 40% plus. You need 40% plus to be able to win. From the Janata Dal Seculars perspective, the JDS is 40% plus only in 28 seats. So the JDS is tally, it's at 26 right now, but they can't really be much more than 28 because they're leading, they're 40% plus only in 28 seats. The Congress, though, could hope because there are 140 seats live at this moment where their vote share is 40% plus. They would hope that they're able to get as close to that 140 number as possible. You can forget these seats. These seats where your vote share is 30 to 40 is very difficult to catch up, right? 140 are the seats where your vote share is 40 plus. And the BJP could think that because you have 106 seats where your vote share is 40% plus, your tally could possibly go up from 70. So that's essentially what we're looking at this moment.
I do believe, if you look at numbers, I would give credit to the analysis of the political parties themselves. Supriya Srinath came out and made it public. Other parties are possibly making it public. Reason being, in an IPL match, things are actually happening there and it's unfolding right there. At this point of time in an election, it's already happened. It's locked. The political parties know exactly what's happening on the ground.
Siddaramaiah,
ವರ್ಣದಲ್ಲೂ ಸೋಲ್ತಾರೆ ಚಾಮರಾಜನಗರದಲ್ಲೂ ಸೋಲ್ತಾರೆ
ಟೋಟಲಿ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ನಾಯಕರು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಪರ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರ ಅಲೆ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾರಿ ಬಂದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾರಿ ಅದು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಮತದಾರರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಜನರು ಬೇಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರ, ಅವರ ದುರಾಡಳಿತ, ಅವರ ಜನ ವಿರೋಧಿ ನೀತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇವರಿಂದ ಜನ ಬೇಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜನ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಹೊಸ ಅದು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಜನ ತೀರ್ಪು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
Arpapati, you want to summarize that for our viewers?
No, he is saying that people of Karnataka are fed up with this government and that's why they're looking for a change and they've given this result.
Okay.
So he's making a matter of fact.
It as a corrupt government and the people wanted it to go. So that was the basic point he was making.
Rahul, I want to make one point about all the statistics that you're given. It gives a very clear idea that when Congress is leading in 140 seats with 40% plus,
it's got 40%. It may not be leading because the other party may have 50% plus. You have 40, the other is 50.
So that
but you're in the fight. The way to describe it is you're in the fight.
So
and I just want to tell you and our viewers that 4 to 8 rounds have been counted across the state, right? So you've broadly so far counted between
12 or 16. How many? What is the total number of rounds?
We'll just find out.
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
Since you gave that very interesting graphic about rallies, and we seem to skim over it. Amit Shah goes and has a 32% strike rate. Rahul Gandhi has 75% strike rate. No, come on, 1 minute. I'm just throwing it up, right? National leaders go into state where there is no local connect. I'm not even saying Rahul Gandhi but the fact is he seems to have done well where the Bharat Jodo Yatra went through. Amit Shah goes in at the last, in the last stretch, doesn't seem to connect. We saw this in Bengal as well. Is it that Delhi leaders, more comfortable in Hindi, cannot relate
to be fair,
and cannot overcome local anti-incumbents?
To be fair, it also depends on where you send which leader. How
Okay.
strong you are in that particular seat, and this goes for all parties. So I don't think we can draw.
It goes for all.
No, but are we saying
I
that?
don't think we can
Are
draw
we
all
saying
leaders.
that are we saying that national leaders? We put them on TV. They're there all through. Even Mr. Modi's road shows. That at the end of the day, local anti-incumbency cannot be overcome by these last-minute
The
push.
purpose of sending a national leader to a seat,
Yes.
often for a party, any party,
Yes.
is to galvanize your local voter. Not so much to get votes directly. People are not going to vote for Amit Shah, but he is going to galvanize local.
Okay, just so that you have some.
Rajiv, can I make a quick point on that? I was discussing this with Ashok ji. Parties may send leaders not necessarily in their strong seats. They could send leaders where they are weak and hoping that that leader will be able
But
to
that's
do well.
also very clear. One second. Look at the seats they pick. If you look at Home Minister Amit Shah or Prime Minister Modi, the amount of time they spent in Old Mysuru, and this is important because they know. We've got one poll, right? We've got maximum 3 polls if you include CSDS and C-Voter. They have innumerable data sources telling them and past track record where their vote share was less than 20. They are plowing for the long run. They're trying to irrigate Old Mysuru, keeping a long-term perspective in mind because they spent a lot of time, Ramnagara, Mandya, a lot of those places in Old Mysuru, a lot of time was spent. Just so that you know what may change, what may not change, 4 to 8 rounds have been counted on an average and it changes from seat to seat. There are about 16 to 20 rounds in each of the seats.
But
So-
Rahul, before you go there, can I just very quickly come to our viewers? What you showed this very interesting
We're just
thing.
showing that. So of the people who are winning, Yadurappa's son B.Y. Vijendra is leading.
Yes.
Basavaraj Bommai is leading. C.T. Ravi of the BJP is trailing at this moment. Shiv Kumar is leading. Karunakar Reddy, brother of Gali Janardhan Reddy, is trailing.
So the
Somashekara Reddy is trailing.
See, the big ones who are trailing, because the trailing often tell a story. Nikhil Kumaraswamy, son of Mr. Kumaraswamy, Ramnagara, Sholay set up, all those, but HD Kumaraswamy seat gives it up for his son who lost Lok Sabha. He's losing. You can't take the voter for granted if these numbers hold.
Biggest
Jagdish Shettar. You see, look at the fascinating thing what's happening there. Around North Karnataka, Congress is beating the BJP. But the man who we thought in TV studios is a symbol of the Lingayat disaffection is actually trailing.
So of the votes that have been counted, so far the BJP candidate has 22,000
He's winning by a big margin.
And the Congress rebel candidate is 14,000.
And I was not surprised because we got to realize often in North Karnataka, the vote goes in some parts of North Karnataka with the party, not the individual. But he's not a mass leader. But now take a look at this guy. Lakshman Saudi, also a deputy chief minister, is leading. And what is he leading by? Look at the margin, 25,000 votes. And what has happened? Mr. Mahesh Kumatalli, I said this before, was a Congress candidate, Rahul, in 2018, defeated Mr. Saudi. Saudi was a winner in 2008-13. Now Kumatalli switches, defects, joins the BJP, is losing by 25,000. What's happening in and around Belgavi? Belgavi was a BJP bastion one time. Now you're seeing the Congress doing very well. Why? Because many of the defectors, a lot of the defectors were from this Belgavi region who went with Ramesh Jarkioli. And they're all losing. It's a good sign.
I can show that to our viewers. Of the defectors in the
Ramesh
fray,
Jarkioli is also losing.
5 out of 8 Congress defectors, meaning defectors from other parties who came into the Congress, 5 out of those 8 candidates are winning. Only 1 out of 13 JDS defectors are winning. So Congress has a reasonable ratio here.
Yes.
When it comes to Dinesh, Dinesh always tend to seem to have an advantage. 8 out of 11 Congress Dinesh are winning. Only 11 out of 33 BJP Dinesh are winning.
That's a big margin.
4 out of 6 JDS Dinesh are winning. When you look at the women candidates in the fray, 2 out of 11, unfortunate, 2 out of 11 Congress women candidates are leading. 3 out of 12 BJP women candidates are leading. 2 out of 13 JDS candidates are leading. Can I show you the kind of educational qualifications of the candidates who seem to be in the lead? Congress has 17 postgraduates who are leading, 60 graduates, and 38 of their candidates who are leading are less than class 12 pass. For the BJP, 8 postgraduates, 32 graduates, and 30 who are less than 12 class pass.
Okay, Shama Mohammed is with us. Shama Mohammed and Sanju Verma are with us. Appreciate both of you joining us. Good to have more women, here when Karnataka is not giving us enough women candidates. Shama Mohammed, you can smile. I know Supriya Shine, I'm being attacked for targeting her. I wasn't. I was only giving what was happening at the time where the margins were low. Now you're at 119, and as I said, once you cross 120, you can actually, give up all those resort bookings. Do you see this as a major turning point for the Congress, or do you see this as a victory limited to Karnataka? I'm almost calling it now as a victory.
No, I see this as a major turning point, and I see this as people who want to vote for real issues, whether it's price rise, it's corruption, it's unemployment. They're fed up of this divide and rule policy, continues about it, and they don't get it. Like you also say, for me, the most important is, being a woman, 425 rupees was the gas when we were in power. And now it's not just double, it's more than double, 1,200. How can one take it? And Nirmala Sitharaman always says one thing, inflation was high during our time. Yes, inflation was high, but unemployment was low. So in a family...
Just stay with us for a moment. I want to go across to MB Patil. He's one of the top Lingayat faces of the Congress party. And I want to show you what's actually happening on the Lingayat-dominated seats. And MB Patil would be delighted to see this, because in the Lingayat-dominated seats, the Congress is rather surprisingly actually doing well. The BJP is holding on to its Lingayat vote share. About 64% of the Lingayats said they voted for the BJP. Yet in the 69 Lingayat-dominated seats where the Lingayats are more than 20% of the population, the Congress is leading on 43 of those seats, up 21 from the last time. The BJP is down 23 from the last time at only 18. Yes, sir, kya ho raha hai? Patil Sahab, that the Congress is leading on 43 Lingayat-dominated seats, and you come from the community yourself, yet 2/3 of the Lingayats still voted for the BJP. This is one of the big stories of this election.
Yeah, I've been continuously maintaining in front of everyone, in front of the media, that it is a homecoming for Lingayats. After Virendra Patil, what Lingayat community had drifted away because of the anti-propaganda, the first time now, the Lingayats have backed major this one too, the Congress, and that you could see now in Mumbai, Karnataka, Hyderabad, Karnataka, elsewhere also, even Varna and all this of South.
MB Patil ji, is it just the cracking of the Lingayat vote, or did the Ahinda factor play a role and the women factor? Because what we are also seeing is that in some of the poorer parts of Karnataka, Congress is doing well. You're getting back some of your old coalition, Dalits, Muslims, even STs coming towards you. So are we seeing... And I want to say this for our viewers, no party has ever won in Karnataka without winning a majority of the SC/ST seats. At the moment, the Congress is leading in them. So is it more than just Lingayats, or do you believe the crack in the Lingayat was the key?
With one community, nobody can win the election. It's Lingayats, all these days were backing, a major chunk was backing BJP. Lingayats have shifted. But all the other communities, whether the scheduled castes, the backwards, the minorities, all other communities also have backed the Vokalgas. All other communities also have backed Congress this time. And the Lingayat factor has played a very important role in Mumbai, Karnataka and all this. So we can get this result because whenever Lingayats are supported, we have won more seats, We've taken the example of Virendra Patil and bring his president, 1989, we got 176 seats.
The Congress hasn't had a Lingayat chief minister since Virendra Patil. You are one of the most prominent faces of the Congress, while Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar have been the leaders that you projected. If you really want the Lingayats to come back to the Congress fold, do you think you're in the fray as well?
Yeah, the Lingayats have already backed with Congress now. We'll see the result. And as regarding the chief minister, 89, since 89, we did not have any Lingayat Congress chief minister. But the chief minister thing will be decided by the legislature party opinion, by the High Command, Mallikarjun Kharge ji or AICC president. What we are now at, we should get a clear-cut majority of 135-30 seats so that we form the government. That is more important for us now. than
Mr.
than
Patil,
become the chief
you
minister.
did get a Lingayat leader from the BJP, Mr. Shekhar, and he's trailing.
Yeah, because Shatter's constituency is a hardcore BJP Jansangha, which was built by himself, Shatter. We also knew that it is going to be a very tough constituency, but
It was the same place where Sonia Gandhi, everyone, the only rally that she ever did
let
in
me answer your
Karnataka
question.
was in Hubballi.
Let me answer your question. See, that seat was been built up by Jansangh, by Shatter family. His father was 5 times corporators, uncle was a MLA. So Shatter had been brought into that constituency, which is the RSS headquarters also there. We all knew it's going to be a very difficult election for Shatter, but the treatment meted out to Shatter and Saudi and Yediyurappa and by the BJP, the ignoring the guys over there, by the perception of what Shatter and all these things, it has, although he might have been thrilling.
Sir, you are saying this again and again, but the data doesn't say that.
This one has helped us a
Sir,
lot. Yeah.
the BJP has almost entirely held on to its Lingayat vote bank. You're winning because you've been able to put together an umbrella coalition of the non-Lingayat communities, the Dalits, the tribals, the Muslims, the Kurbas, the non-Kurba OBCs. That's how you've been able to win, by building that formidable Ahinda coalition. It's not as if the Lingayat vote bank has split.
But this time it was also the Lingayats and the Wakilgas also. We also concentrate on the Lingayats this one, and Lingayats are pretty convinced that BJP is no more a party which is helping them. They know that BJP is trying to use them and dump them.
So who is the next chief minister? Straight question. Who's the next chief minister of Karnataka,
The
sir?
legislature party meeting will
who is
decide.
come on, Mr. Patil. Who's your choice? Who's the choice?
No question. See, the party in Congress, we never we declare a chief minister. The
Who's your choice?
Who's your choice?
Who's your choice?
No. The parties, the MLAs will decide. The MLAs will decide.
How are you celebrate? Sir, Congress hasn't, forget this, who's chief minister, it's not in your control. But the Congress hasn't had this big a victory in a long time. In a head-on-head fight with the BJP in a major state, the Congress hasn't won big. How are you partying tonight? What's the celebration going to look like?
This victory for Congress will send a very positive lesson for the 224 this one in the country. So it leads to a Congress-led coalition to more like the UPA in the center, definitely.
Okay, that's Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai. He's live at this time watching the results. Obviously not looking happy, and he has no reason to. He was quite upset with our network at different times during the campaign. But we did have the trend, right? Our reporters, our editors, our anchors on the ground were picking up the right trend, which was that the Congress was leading, the BJP wasn't. And, Rajdeep, a lot of the problems his government has had to deal with are problems he inherited. These aren't problems of his making. He's been in power only for 21 months.
And he's a fascinating character. S.R. Bommai was a royist. Came from the left socialist stream, and Karnataka has always had a strong tradition of left socialist politics. He came through the Janata Dal, joined the BJP. Look at the two main faces of this election on either side are both from the Janata Dal. One, Siddaramaiah, came from the Janata Parivar, and then you have Mr. Bommai from the Janata Parivar. You see, this state is what my friend Dr. Shastri in a very fine column of his said, floating MLAs. Yahan se jao, wahan jao. It's happening in Maharashtra. Karnataka and Maharashtra share a lot in common. We have poha and idli together in Belgavi at breakfast, and now it's our politics. It has shifted so much. Defectors are all over the place. But I want to just give you a number. You said Lingayats, and I have a sense. Look at this: 19 to 12 among SC seats, 37 SC seats. Congress leading in 19 to 12. Last time the BJP did very well, especially among the left Dalits. And this is one of the stories of this election. The Dalit vote is switching. And take a look at this. And I'm sure here too you'll find a story. Look at this. 12-2. And look at what happened. Mr. Bommai gave internal reservations, raised 15% to 17% for Dalits, gave special reservation for ST. Why do you do it last moment? ये public है ना, ये सब जानती है. You do it at the last moment. You give Vokaligas reservation, Lingayats reservation, take away from Muslims. It doesn't work. You want to do all this, do it 1 year before. When you do it on the eve of the election round, it doesn't work. This is the story. Never before in the history of Karnataka has a party that has lost SC/ST won the election. You have to win the SC/ST. We talk about Lingayats, Vokaligas. They are dominant. They have the leaders. But the real story is here. This is the story
Sanju Verma is also with us. Sanju,
and she should answer that.
72 seats for the BJP at this moment. Even on the Lingayat dominated 69 seats, the Congress is leading on 49. Now that's very perplexing. You're holding on to your Lingayat vote share, trailing on Lingayat seats. They seem to have been able to build a strong umbrella non-Lingayat coalition against you.
And I can add to that, you're losing Dalit and ST seats. This
Okay,
is what
let me
Mr. Modi wins,
come
and
in
you're
now.
losing among women. Your woman vote is
Can
gone.
I please, Rajdeep, you know, you've asked a question. Now, please have the
Yes,
gumption
ma'am.
to
Please
listen
respond.
to what I have to say. Thank you, and please don't heckle me. You know,
No, I won't.
first and foremost, let me start from where Rajdeep left. जी हाँ, ये public है, ये सब जानती है. I don't wish to sound arrogant or overconfident, but let's be very clear, Rajdeep, that the decision to hike the scheduled caste quota from 15 to 17% and that of scheduled tribes from 3 to 7%. This was done by way of an ordinance that was passed way back in October 2022. So while you might say that this was done, you know, keeping an eye on elections and on the eve of elections, I have this to ask you. Why is it that despite ruling Karnataka for the longest time, the Congress was not able to do so? The Congress has been promising this for the last 20 or 30 odd years. So please don't, you know, sit here and wax eloquent about the BJP playing electoral politics, because at least we decided to do what needed to be done for Dalits and Adivasis. That's my point number one. My point number two is BJP has held on to its vote share of 36.3% as we speak. Point number three, in 106 to 108 constituencies, the BJP is still a very, very strong contender. Point number four, and the most important point, in any seat in Karnataka, there are at least 16 to 18 to 20 to 22 rounds. And as I speak with you, there are 6 to 8 or at best 10 rounds that have been competed, which means that in many seats, only 25 to 30 or 40% at best is the amount of rounds that have taken place, and there's still a lot of room in terms of which way this election is headed.
Ma'am, Sanju Verma ji, all very fine points. You answer a simple question. 1,200 rupees gas cylinder prices. Everywhere I went to rural Karnataka, they said this is too much. During Siddharamaya's time, it was 450. No, 1 minute, ma'am, now. You must listen. That many believe was a critical factor.
Occasions. You've made this point on umpteen occasions. I know what you're going to say. Let me preempt you for a change. You know, I even heard the Congress panelists, and I have this to say. And I'm speaking with data, just like you speak with data. The fact of the matter is that excise duty on petrol and diesel was reduced by 5 rupees and 10 rupees in November 2021. Again, excise on petrol and diesel was reduced by 6 rupees and 8 rupees respectively in May 2022. My question is, why is it that Ganganagar in Rajasthan has the highest petrol and diesel prices? The Gehlot government did not reduce VAT meaningfully at all, nor did the Chhattisgarh government. In fact, the highest petrol and diesel prices are in 6 to 7 non-BJP ruled states. So please don't peddle this
what is
false
happening
narrative.
here?
Okay. You know, the fact is, though, that, you know, every party has
I
made
want to correct
by
that.
the end, even the BJP in its manifesto said, we'll give gas cylinder on 3 festivals. Sadly, those 3 festivals didn't include Eid. But that's another battle for another day. The truth of the matter is that for
Rajdeep,
1 year
I
last
was
year,
not
all you
allowed to
did was
complete
hijab,
my
azan,
statement. Can I
halal.
speak?
You did not focus on welfareism. Shama Mohammed, you want to take that point that it's all this election, local anti-incumbency really hurting BJP. Next one in Rajasthan, it could hurt you. So, you know,
Giving
before you
37 lakh
celebrate,
people the benefit of Ayushman Bharat is not welfareism.
ma'am, just a minute, you're on the
Giving
roll.
31 lakh Ujjwala gas
Can I
cylinders to the
speak?
women of Karnataka is not welfareism.
Let
Rajdeep, are you
me
hallucinating?
speak.
Okay, I'm hallucinating. I'm asking you, Shama Mohammed.
Rajdeep, this lady has to stop speaking.
You know,
Can I
Shama
speak?
Mohammed, you are a hardcore bigot.
Okay, Rajdeep, she talks about excise duty.
I'm not here
Okay,
to
can
take
we reduce
bashing.
Sanju Verma's voice?
She talks about.
The fact is, Shama Mohammed, do you concede that this is Karnataka election? The next one could be Rajasthan. You could lose there. There also the petrol prices. Sanju Verma is right. Diesel, petrol are among the highest in the country. That will hit you. You've also got to wake up and smell the coffee when the next state comes.
No, Rajdeep, 2 points in this, what I want to tell. She talked about excise duty. She should understand when we were leaving in 2014, it was 9 rupees, the excise duty. Now what has happened is from there, when they just took over, they went to 34 and 35, respectively, diesel and petrol and diesel. So
Just tell me why you did not reduce.
Then you reduce 4, doesn't matter. And let me finish. And then one more thing I want to ask Sanju Verma. I saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi campaigning ferociously. That's the word I'm going to use. Is Prime Minister Narendra Modi going to take responsibility for today's defeat, or is he a leader only capable of taking responsibility when victory is there? A true leader should take responsibility for victory as well as defeat. I want to know who is going to be responsible. Are they going to do local leaders? Because Gujarat, you can do whatever you want in Gujarat. You change your MLAs, change your CMs. That doesn't work in Karnataka or in the southern states. That is one thing very clear today. And I want to know if the Prime Minister of India is going to take responsibility, because we fought on the right issues. We fought on people's issues. And there the fight was about Muslims, Hindus, Bajrang Dal, PFI. This is what the Prime Minister was talking about.
You didn't answer my
So
question. That's the problem with you all. No, you didn't answer my question. Why don't you reduce petrol? Why don't you reduce VAT prices? Get the message, ma'am. The message is public hai, garibon ki suno, wo tumhari sunega. You don't bring down petrol, diesel prices in Rajasthan, you will pay a price.
I will give you the answer. The in Rajasthan, those who have the Ujjwala scheme, the gas has been given at 500 rupees. So we are using it somewhere else. Every state has a way to use their revenue.
Okay,
so
the biggest question at this time is,
we are giving the gas at 500 rupees. So we are doing things there. That is the problem.
the biggest question at this time is what can change? Is this trend largely settled, or can things change, and if they can, to what extent? So I have some very interesting visualizations which help capture that for us. And I'll start from the BJP's perspective. From the BJP's perspective, there are 106 seats where the BJP has 40% plus votes. So they will think on these seats, they are still in the fray, 40+% vote, 106 seats. From the Congress's perspective, there are 145 seats where the Congress is 40% plus. So the Congress will think that 115 can go up because there are 145 seats where the Congress can potentially still be in the fray. From the JDS's perspective, there are only 25 seats where the JDS is 40% plus. So the JDS's tally is unlikely to go up much beyond 30. That looks quite clear. Other things could still potentially change. Let's now come to the margin calculator, which will give you a sense again of what can change. At this time, there are 15 seats where the gap between the winner and the runner-up is less than 500. 5 of those leads for the Congress, 6 for the BJP, 3 for the JDS, 1 for the others. Here again, things can change. At this second, there are 5 seats where the lead is less than 100 votes. 2 of those are for the BJP, 1 for the Congress, 1 for the JDS. When it comes to seats where the gap is less than 1,000 votes, there are 36 seats at this time, split equally. So it's interesting that the tight fights are now split equally. In a worst case scenario, if the Congress were to lose quite a few of these seats, they would then fall below a majority. And if the Congress were to start picking up from the JDS and the BJP more of the tight fights, then there are about 120. So remember, about 7-8 rounds have been counted. There are between 16 and 20 rounds, just as a ballpark. So this battle is far from over. This Karnataka Premier League match is still on. It's game on right now.
Rahul, every half an hour the numbers change. And the range is between 114 to 120. But there it slipped to 112. And that can always happen given the margin calculators. Yeah. You have
first images of DK Shivkumar on your screen right now. There, just in the corner, there is DK Shiv. In case you're wondering where is he, there is DK Shivkumar.
And next to him is his brother. The one there in the middle is his brother, who's an MP, DK Suresh. And next to him is Naresh Arora, who's their sort of media brand manager.
I think that image is taken inside a gym.
Yeah, you see, all of this is okay to celebrate individual. Look, this is fine. You're celebrating, but when you go public, what you do is you create the impression among your followers that you won. Then when the numbers start closing in, you get anxious. So, all I was doing an hour ago, Rahul, you said, you were giving her a hard time. The only reason is because the way this election is. This is not a normal election. This is like Madhya Pradesh, which went constituency by constituency. There are still half a dozen rounds left.
I agree with you. It's a tighter election than we thought.
Of course.
I think the Congress majority is maybe a narrow majority, but it's more or less
given.
Okay. I will call this election only after 3 p.m. You're gonna have to give me bise beli bhat. I am not happy with this idli and this thing.
No, this is not our office cafe is not MTR. You don't get the kind of crisp dosas that you get. Rajiv Pratap Rudy is joining us. I don't know if he's had any dosa idli since the morning. We've not got a good breakfast, but that's quite unfortunate. Captain Saab, welcome. from the BJP's perspective, from 104 or 116, depending on what you take as the starting point, now leading only on 77. The quantum of the Congress's victory is still being determined, but it's very clear the BJP has lost. Why, according to you?
Well, Rahul, I have been hearing you since morning and I have been hearing Rajdeep as well. So I will go by the side of Rajdeep.
So you're listening only to India Today. Good news.
Good choice. That's the right choice.
No, I have been flicking through the channels and I would still be conservative. I will wait for the final results to come. I have seen spins happening in elections even at the last minute. So having said that, I have been watching the results. It's been fluctuating. Thanks, Rajdeep. You have been talking something which I would have always said if I was there at your place or in my place as well now, that we should wait for the final outcome. Yes, if something goes wrong, it requires a deeper analysis because I think this election was very localized. It was nothing to connect to the national polity or politics or the mandate which we generally seek and try to connect whenever we have a state BJP government and we have a national government, we try to see their work together to see an outcome. But possibly this thing may have been lacking, but this is too early to assess. How good we have done, how bad we have done is possibly only if we see the final results, which would be there, I believe, in an hour or two. And I think if you ask me then possibly I would introspect to tell things which may be relevant, relevant for the Congress as well, and maybe relevant for all those who are doing it. But as of now, there's a lot of euphoria about certain things. But the euphoria is very, very regionalistic. It's about...
No, but Rajiv Pratap Rudy, there is a question about this double-engine Sarkara. You see, you plunge the Prime Minister into this hectic blitzkrieg, but you have weak chief ministers. There's a sense, except for Yogi Adityanath and to some extent Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and there's buzz that he could be replaced. The Congress, the BJP doesn't have strong chief ministers. You cannot overcome local anti-incumbency if one engine is not working. Do you agree that's a lesson to learn?
Well, at one point of time, you say, except Yogi Adityanath, and then you punch in, I do not know what reasons you have to punch in this sentence that Shivraj...
No, weak chief ministers, sir. Except Yogi, you do not have strong chief ministers.
There are no weak chief ministers or there are no strong chief ministers. There are chief ministers. And chief minister of a state has to perform along with the party and the national perspective what we have. There could be a rhetoric which is built up against, and that is very localized. We have the Lingayats, the Vokalingas, the coastal region, the urban cities, and overall, and of course a campaign which matters. So we may have dipped in some part, but I would believe that BJP is still faring very well. And when you say, why do you put in Prime Minister? Tell me which election, whether it's Tripura, whether it's Assam, whether it is even smaller states where the Prime Minister doesn't go. And that is what he builds up as a national perspective. And that is what he does. He does not get deterred what is the situation. He comes to the people straight ahead, talks about the things which he's doing at the national level, talks about things which has to be done at the state level, talks about connecting India to the states. And that is how he works. He does not relent about anything.
I have over here the retain ratio for the BJP. Of the 104 seats you had last time, you're losing or trailing on 55 of those seats. Your retain ratio is only 47. 53% of the seats which you won in the last election, you're currently trailing on. This really demonstrates the extent of anti-incumbency. Of that double engine the BJP talks about, one of the engines in Karnataka wasn't firing.
Maybe you can analyze it further when the results are out. And maybe there are reasons why this has happened. So, but it would be too early for me to comment on that. And as you said, that more than 55 seats, I actually do not see so. But having said that, I believe that it could be a time once we have the final outcome to tell what actually where we went wrong. So I would refrain from commenting at this point of time, wait for another 3 hours to get back and answer all your questions straightforward.
How much does it impact or bother the sheer fact that the Congress could go with this triple L model, La Bharati, ladies, local, to the other 4 states that are going into elections in the coming year? Because 2 of them are what your vote banks are, La Bharati and women, ladies.
To defeat or browbeat PM's model, they have still a very long way to go. So I would not be commenting that this is the national manifesto and this is going to... It's completely different when it comes to the national level and when it comes to the Prime Minister. And you have to go down to the ground to see what the people talk about the Prime Minister, how positive the people at the ground level talk about him. So I would not like to mix up these things. Let's keep it to Karnataka elections as of now. Where we trade and where we fail is one thing which we need to analyze, but actually I'm not admitting any defeat as of now.
Okay. So the other thing,
75
Rajiv
is a very
ji,
good number.
look at these 69 seats that I've pulled out. These are seats which are Lingayat dominated, which means that the population